Hello everyone, I'm Loganathan from Loga QA Automation channel. Welcome back to our next video in our Playwright JavaScript series. In today's video, we will see how we can handle the elements which are present inside the iFrame using the Playwright scripts. So we have close to 4-5 methods and we will go through them one by one. So let's straight away jump into the VS Code and start creating our scripts. Okay, so let me create a new folder called iFrames, and then inside iFrame I'll start with my first file. I'll name it as test01.spec.js, and for this tutorial I'll be using this website, okay, Vinod QA Academy. So thanks to Vinod, I don't know who he is, but thanks to him for creating such a wonderful page where we can do the practice of automation. So Vinod QA Academy, when I go here, I can see some practice forms given in this page, and these are kept inside iFrame. So what is meant by iFrame first? So let me right click and then do an inspect. And you see here, when you go to the top of your HTML, so you have body, and then inside that you can search or you can inspect an element which is present in your page. Say here it is input, name input, but this name input will not directly present under my body, right? Directly it will not be under the body. In between the body and the name input, there will be another section called iFrame. See here. So this iFrame is between the body and my element, and if I try to use this directly in my script, it will not work. So I'll show you that, and then you can understand in a much easier way. Okay, so first statement is import, and then test from Playwright /test. All right, and then we'll have to get started with the test example. What I say, iFrame using frameLocator. Okay, that is the example. And then for this, async I'll use the page fixture, and I'll navigate to the page, go to, and I'll give the URL of this page. All right, now as usual I'll try to add page.locator. So I should use await everywhere, otherwise the script is not going to go in a correct order, right? So let me use await page.locator, and then so this is very clear, ID is name input. So what can I do as a locator? I can give, if it is ID, then let me first of all do it here itself, input hash ID. I give it in my, I'll try to zoom in here. So in my browser developer tool, when I give the CSS input hash name input, that is nothing but the ID of the this box, it is identifying it. It says 1 of 1, and when I try to hit enter, and it is highlighting the element also, see. But when I use it in my script, so let me go back to my script. And then I'll try to set a value, okay, fill, say Loganathan. I'll give a delay, await page dot wait for timeout. I'll say some 3 seconds. I'll wait for 2 seconds because already it will not find the element. Okay, let me run this. It opens the browser, goes to the web page. The page is loaded, and it has to set my name in this input text box, but it is still waiting. It is not doing any action. Let's see how long it takes to identify this element. So the default timeout which is set in my configuration file is 30 seconds, due to which it waited for say 30,000 milliseconds, and then it gave me an error saying that timeout exceeded. So it is unable to identify it, but it is giving me some suggestions, right? iFrame, is it? No, it is not giving me any suggestion. Just because I gave the name iFrame using frameLocator, the same name is printed here. So I will not have any clue why this is failing, correct? So that is when we need to think about, is there any iFrame in between the body and the object that we are going to work on? How can I identify it? So very simple. So go to the page and then just type iFrame. So the moment you type iFrame, you see that one of 34, correct? There are 34 iFrames. Then obviously we'll get a doubt that maybe there is one iFrame in between my name, the object that I want to perform action, and the body. So I have to handle it. So how can I handle it? So the first method is using frameLocator. Let's go and start with it. Await page dot. Let's use the frameLocator, and then it is telling me to use here. If you see an example, right, dot frameLocator, it is asking me to go with the ID of the frameLocator, but in our case, do we have ID for this frame? Let me go up. Okay, this is the iFrame, right? So this is the first iFrame. I'm trying to locate that iFrame in my DOM structure. Okay, here is the iFrame, correct? So this iFrame, if I have to identify it using any of the attribute, here I don't have any unique. Oh yeah, I have it. Name is there. So employee table iFrame I can use. So let's see, iFrame @name is equal to this identifies my iFrame. So I can use this, and let's use that here. Okay, frameLocator is done, and on top of it, what we need to do, either I can save this in a variable, let frame look is equal to, I can use it, and then this frameLocator can be used here instead of page, and let's see if it is filling it or not this time. Page loading is done, my name is entered, it's waiting for 2 seconds and came out and it says it is passed. So what have I done? Before I put this locator, first I created the frameLocator, or I pointed my Playwright script to go to the frameLocator, and inside the frameLocator I'm asking it to look for an element which has this CSS locator, right? So then it was able to identify, and then it was able to fill in. So do I need this variable? It's up to you how you want to use it. So you can directly use it. Say for example, you can remove this and then can straightforward, you can copy this and put it here, remove this, save it and play it. Put my name and then it waited for 2 seconds and ended. So it is up to you if you want to store this frameLocator object, the frame object inside a variable, and then use that variable and then look for a locator, you can do. Otherwise you can directly use it. So this is one way. Let's check the second way now. So what do we have? The second way is using page.frame, and then again the same work, right? So instead of frameLocator, I'll be putting frame, and then after frame I will be passing this locator. So let's do this. Instead of frameLocator, I'll simply pass frame. And let's see how this goes. Okay, I'll execute this one now. Okay, it is giving me an error. Type error, cannot read properties of null, reading locator. Okay, this time I'll try to put it in a variable and see. Let frame L object is equal to this. And then I use frame object dot locator. Let's see. Okay, like what it says, frame selector string. It can be name or it can be URL. Okay, so this has to be name or it has to be URL. So let me use the name then instead of passing the CSS or something. I'll use the name colon. Okay, let's run this. Yeah, you see that it has entered. So we cannot use the CSS or we cannot use the other locators inside this frame. Either it has to be the name attribute or it has to be the URL. You see? Can you see it? So these are the two available options that you can use. Okay, that is about using frame, and then let's move to the next one. Next is getting the frames and then looping them through. How can I do it? Using all frames. It is very simple. I don't have to do much here. So here I'll put page.frames. So this is going to give me all the frames here. So I'll use a for loop. For I, say let I of, or I'll say in the frame, okay, of frame object. I'll be looping it through. And when I am looping it through, I have to check if end frame dot get attribute, let's see, of name is equal to what is our name? Employee table. Then I'll ask save condition, so await the end frame dot locator and put my name. Okay, let me run this. Okay, there is an error. Get attribute name got undefined. Okay, maybe on this frame this is not allowed. Frame dot get attribute. Okay. Unexpected string. Okay, I should use await also here. I cannot skip the await because get attribute is something returns the promise. So let's see. Again it is throwing error. Let's fix it. Frame get attribute name expect got undefined. Let me remove this single quotes and see. Now it is still not working. What happened? Individual frame. Let me see what is that. I have taken as example here frame.url includes. Okay, maybe I should use name dot includes. Let's see. Let me change my condition here. Instead of using get attributes of the frame, first let me try to print all the frames. Okay, so how can I print it? Console dot log and then await end frame dot say get attribute. Let me print name and let's see what is going to happen with this. Expected string but got undefined. So it is taking the name and it is printing now. So this I can use for my comparison. Dot includes employee table. Instead of console log, I can put a if, and here I can say dot locator and then the fill logo, my name. Okay, so let us run this. It entered Loganathan and then waited for 2 seconds and then it closed the browser. In fact, what I should do is after enters Loganathan, I should break, correct? Let me run this again. Because once it identifies the frame and performs the action, there is no need for iterating through the other iframes. That is the reason I'm putting break. All right. So this is the third way where we are capturing all the frames inside a variable, and this will become a list. And after it becomes a list, let's see what it is returning. Okay. Nice. So you can see that there is a square bracket, right? The moment you see square bracket, you can understand that it is returning the list. And the list, you are going to use the for loop, and when you are using for loop, this let of any variable will iterate through every element of the list, and one by one you are checking what is the name, and if the name includes this value, then get in and look for this element, and in that element fill the value Loganathan. Once you fill the value Loganathan, break the loop and come out is what we are trying to do here. This is about using the loops in iframe, using the loops and identifying the iframe. Okay. Next is ElementHandle. So it is nothing but the content frame. Okay, as you see here, I am giving the locator, page.locator, and I am putting the iframe locator, and then I put ElementHandle, and I use that ElementHandle to use this content frame, and after using content frame, I am going with the identifying the locator. So 3 steps we have to do. First, I'll copy this. I'll put it as ElementHandle. So what is the first step? We are going to create ElementHandle. So let me name it as ElementHand. Await dot. This is a simple page.locator. So let's put locator. And the locator that I'm going to use is the frameLocator, whichever we used here. Okay. Locator, and then I'm going to use ElementHandle. Okay, once I get the ElementHandle, what is next? Next is content. So this is contentFrame. So I'll name it as contentFrame is equal to this ElementHandle dot contentFrame. Simple. And after we receive this contentFrame, it's again the same concept. Let me use await contentFrame dot locator. So I'll just repeat this and fill Loganathan. Okay, so let me run this now. ElementHandle. It already entered my name, waited, and then came out. And it says it is passed. So how can we do this? First is creating the ElementHandle. For creating the ElementHandle, you just need to pass the iFrames locator. So it can be CSS, it can be XPath, or it can be any locators that you generally use in your Playwright. Use that and then get that in ElementHandle. So after you get that as an ElementHandle, use contentFrame method on the ElementHandle and put it in another variable, and use that contentFrame to locate your element and then perform the action. It is slightly cumbersome, okay? So that is the reason, out of these 4 methods that we have seen so far, the easiest is using the frameLocator, right? I say page.frameLocator and I pass the frames, the locators, and then whatever element that I'm going to use in my script, I'll be passing the locator of that element, and then I'll be performing the action fill. And finally, handling nested frames. For this, I don't have an example here because right now I have only one frame, and within the frame we have values. So let me see if there is a nested frame here. Alert pop-up. This is iFrame. Yeah, we have good. So this is iFrame. No, this is not a nested frame. So there are total of 3 iFrames. This is 1, 2, 3. There is no frame inside frame. So I'll not be able to explain it, but by seeing this, you can easily understand what it means. So when it is nested iFrames, better to go for a frameLocator method. It is easy, straightforward. Say frameLocator and then give the outer frame ID or outer frame CSS, outer frames XPath, whatever you wish, you can give it to identify it, and then go for the inner one and then use the locator and then do the action that you want to perform. So this is the way you can handle the nested iFrames in your Playwright script. So guys, I'll again put this script inside my repository and share the repository link in the description. Feel free to try it out on your own, and then if you have any questions, post it in the comment section. I'll take a look and then I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. So this can become easy only when you do it by yourself, right? You do it by yourself and then you can master this. So keep practicing, and for any doubts, I'm there. You can reach out to me and I can help you out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing. Take care. Bye.